All right, we're here. Holy cow. Look at all this stuff. Hello, Jason. Hello, Marie. Glad to have you guys. Let's see. On Facebook. Nobody's commenting there yet. That's okay. Just if you don't have anything to say, just better not say it. Better not say it. We're waiting for our guest to show up on vMix Call. And, did you ever get that feeling that something might not happen? We also have a guest in the studio here that we will introduce you to later. And let's see. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Let's go back to that one.
There I am.
There he is. Sam, sorry about that. Did not intend to do that. Was trying to put this other one up on the screen. There we go, to see what I could see with that one. All right. It's Bill Connor from Mississippi. Well, Bill, we've got a guest in the studio today from Mississippi. So how about that? The former mayor of Olive Branch, Mississippi is in the house, as they say. So we'll talk some more about that in just a few. Let's get the X keys where we can reach it. There we go. Everything. People must come in my studio overnight and rearrange things because it's never the same the next day. So let's see. Jason's here. Marie's here. Bill's here. Ham Yat is here from New Jersey. And glad you guys are here. Stay safe. Jim is here from NoCal. Welcome, sir. Glad to have you. Let's see about on the Facebook side. Anybody commenting? Not yet. That's okay. If you're watching us on the Streaming Idiots group in Facebook, we're monitoring those too. Hello, KMR. Happy Wednesday back at you. Happy Wednesday back at you. It's going to be a good day, I can tell. Hold it. A little lemonade here. All right. Over the holidays, I was visiting family down in Central Florida, and my grandson has just developed a passion for live squeezed orange juice. They have an orange tree in the backyard, so he'll go out and pick them and squeeze. He bought an orange squeezer at a yard sale, and he's convinced that he's going to corner the market on fresh squeezed orange juice. And that little rascal, he doesn't like pulp in them, and so he squeezed a bunch, and then he took one of his mother's kitchen towels and laid it over the top of a cup and poured it through. Right. The towel is stained forever, but it is a great story. Bill says, very interested in tracking PTZ. Hey, Bill, you and me both. And I've actually got two set up in the studio. Sam's going to help me with one of them. And J as in John, Jet. Sorry. It's that European thing where I want to make a J like a John into a Y like Jan. So Hamjet, got it. Sorry about that. I'll try to remember it, but I'll probably forget. Hello, Daniel Wright. How's the weather in Gillette, Wisconsin? Holy cow. I was talking to somebody yesterday in Quebec, and they said it was 38 below zero centigrade. And I said, oh, well, that's probably much, much warmer Fahrenheit. I did the calculation. And on the negative side, it gets a little screwy. It was only 35 below. 35 degrees below zero. I can't even imagine zero, much less, geez, too much. Too much. Eric is in the house. Welcome, Eric. Glad to have you. Albany State University. Is that Albany, New York, or Albany, Georgia? Bill says the labor cost offset in his use case. Well, here's the thing, Bill. I haven't tested this movement camera on anything other than a single person. I'm not sure how it would handle a group. You know, would it handle a basketball game? Maybe. Probably wouldn't handle volleyball. That wouldn't work. Wouldn't handle baseball. I mean, it relies on movement. So we'll see. We'll test it. Marie says 38 in anything, it's horrible. Hamjet said it was 16 degrees in New Jersey yesterday. Wow, that's horrible. Today it's 42. Yeah, you could be short sleeves like me. Holy cow. 34, Daniel says, in Wisconsin. Well, that's not bad. It's above freezing. Not by much, but it is above freezing. It is Albany, Georgia. All right. Very good. Very good. Being Celsius, Fahrenheit, or bank account. Yes, I agree. I agree. Oh, Bill says training instructors. Yeah, Bill, this would probably be perfect. And I don't want to get too much into the content of the show, but yeah, so I'll keep my mouth shut. How about that? All right, how are we doing on time? We got a couple minutes here yet. Bill Connor has an automotive training center where he trains mechanics or technicians, I guess is what they call themselves now. Are you able to hear me through this?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, good. Good.
I can hear you both ways.
Yeah. Live and
through the ears, yeah.
And electronically. Jan is here. Good evening, sir. Maria's already spent your money down to negative 38 in your bank account, she tells me. Kevin says it's 48 degrees after sunset in Dublin. I'll take that over 19 degrees last week in New York. Yeah. Holy cow. 48 degrees after sunset. So that means you guys probably had a decent day up in the 60s, maybe. That's what it's been around here. Let's see. How are we doing? Sam, I had a chance to meet Jan and Marie in person a couple of years ago in Amsterdam. And that was a real treat. Sandy, my wife Sandy, went with us. And we went out to dinner, had a lovely evening. It was really, really a treat. I'm looking so forward to the NAB show in Las Vegas in April, hoping that, this COVID Omicron surge will have burned itself out by then. Don't know. Jan says, well, she knows we share accounts. Well, that's good, because what is yours is hers, and what is hers is hers.
Yeah.
So that's the way that one works. They've been married long enough to know that. All right, let's see. What have we missed here? Doesn't look like we missed anything. Let's go check Facebook for a sec. There we go. Bruce is there. Oh, Bruce is one of my heroes. Bruce Richardson and Kyle Gunderman, another one of my heroes. And Kenna Benedict, another one of my heroes. Whoa, this is awesome. Welcome, guys. Good to see you. Glad to have you. Look forward to being able to see you in a couple of months. Kyle, are you going to be able to make it to NAB? Assuming that it works. Bruce, are you going to be there? Or are you done with this electronic stuff and you're just into bees and Harleys? Ken, I know you'll be there. I hope you'll be there. Don't bring peanuts this time, though. Sam, one of the jokes on the show, and you may have heard this, it's been a while since we've done it, but if you showed up late for the show, you had to bring snacks to the post show.
I remember that early on, yeah.
And the snacks were mixed nuts. And then the last NAB we had, which I guess was 2019, maybe 2018. I have to go back and check because they're all running together now. And we did it on the floor of the NAB show, which meant that everything had to be catered by their a caterer, union caterer.
I think I was at that one.
Were you?
The meat was on the convention floor.
Yes.
Yeah.
And mixed nuts, they wanted $90 a pound for mixed nuts.
Did you bring some in?
Ken Benedict smuggled some in. That rascal. He's planning on being there, and Kyle hopes to be there. Okay, good. Glad to see that. Very good. Holy cow. You just never know. All right, let's see. Let's catch back up on YouTube. Jan says, a very nice and memorial evening in Amsterdam. Yes, it was. Bill says, what about the dum-dums? Well, I am out of dum-dums. And I don't think we had dum-dums at NAB last year, but I'll make sure when we do the Streaming Idiots meetup this April. I don't have the date in front of me, but it's the second night of the show, of the trade show. So I think that'll be Monday night. In the past, it's been Tuesday, but the trade show starts on Sunday this time instead of Monday. So we'll do it on Monday night, and we'll have some dum-dums and some Smarties and some mixed nuts and lemonade and all sorts of other good stuff. All right, well, let's get the show on the road. And let me do one or two things here just so I don't trip over myself. I'll do that. And I think that'll serve us. Yeah, good. All right, sit tight. We're going to do the intro. Hello, Otis. Otis is here. Oh, Jan keeps asking if he should become a home husband and take care of the house while she goes out into the world. But every time I suggest it, she just glares at me. Well, here's a clue, Jan. Don't suggest it anymore. Here's the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair. This is Streaming Idiots. So glad that you could carve out some time and be with us today. I am honored that you would take the time to do that. If you're watching us after the fact, maybe watching on your phone while you're commuting somewhere or right before you go to bed or first thing in the morning, kudos to you. Thank you for tuning in. I think you're going to really enjoy what we've got today because today is unique. It's not every day that we do this. In fact, it's not very often that we do this. Today, we are going to be sharing about a new, well, it's not new, but it's kind of new. It's like if you had a car and you really liked your car and you've been driving your car for a while and, maybe a year, something like that. You hadn't washed it, you hadn't detailed it, you hadn't cleaned it. And then somebody sneaks off with your car and doesn't tell you and details it and details the engine and tunes it up and fills it up with premium gas and changes the oil to synthetic and does all the right things. And you walk out one day and there's your car, but it's just like, wow, how great that car looks and it drives well. And that's what we've got today. We've got a whole family of PTZ cameras that have been out there for a while. And then all of a sudden last week, when we weren't looking, somebody filled it up with premium gas. That's exactly what happened. So, how do we do this? I was supposed to have a guest on from this company, but I screwed up. And, they're probably scheduled for tomorrow or something like that. I don't know. Gee whiz. So, hence the name of the show, in case anybody's wondering. Tom, what's the name of the show? The name of the show is, oh, wait, I just took it right. There it is. Streaming Idiots with the emphasis on idiots. So what we're talking about the BirdDog family of PTZ cameras. And what they've done is that they have, through a firmware update on the camera, and a special app that you can put on your PC. I'm not sure if it works on, no, it's not on Macs yet. It's just PC only. Special app that you put on your PC, you can enable that camera to do auto tracking. If you already own a PTZ camera by BirdDog, you can get the free software called Cam Control 2.0. Don't get the older version. It won't work. And it has something in it called auto tracking. It is too cool. And it takes like no time to set up. And it works pretty darn well. Now, there's some caveats to it. If you're an idiot like me, you may have some problems. I took a bunch of gear over to my church yesterday. I was going to set it up and do a demo. And, I took the wrong gear. I couldn't even plug the cameras in. It was a huge fail. Fortunately, there was nobody around to video it. So I don't have any video from yesterday. But what I do have might be even better. I do have currently in the studio, fired up with the latest, greatest firmware, 2 BirdDog cameras. A P100, which is their 10X kind of baby camera, might call it. It's the youngest, smallest child in the family. It's a 10X zoom, but it's full NDI, and it does auto tracking, and the price is like $1,700 for auto tracking and full NDI. It's incredible. Next up the scale, so I've got one of those, the P100, and then next up the scale is the BirdDog P200, which is like the P100. It's 1080p. I think I'm not sure if the P100 does 60 frames, but the P200 does 60 frames a second, and has a 30x zoom, and that's this one right here, and with a firmware update to the camera, and then download some application here. I have got 2 follow you around the studio cameras here. It is incredible. The P200 I think is 2,800, something like that. So 1,700 and 2,800. They just had a price increase, maybe the first of the year. I don't know that my website shows it. If you rush right out and buy something for the old price, I'll honor it. So I better hurry up and change the website. But I thought we would test it right here in the studio. So I'm going to take this camera right in front of me, and let me get into the controls for the camera. And what I want to do is, first of all, I want to zoom it out so that we've got the ability to see some movement. And you can tell when I do that, oh, Tom, there's the edge of your green screen. That's right. And then let's do a screen capture so that you can see me operate the cam control software and see just how easy it is. So we're going to copy this. Did I get the right one? Nope, that's the wrong one. Let's try again. Should have done this in the beginning. Brain is a terrible thing to waste. Okay, did that get it? Yeah. No? Oh, Let's try one more time. We're not getting what we want here. Display 1, display 2. Well, heck, let's just capture the cam control window. That'll be easy. No. Gee, hold on, guys. The show is aptly named. There is no question about that. Display 1, display 2. There we go. Okay, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. This is the cam control software. And let's maximize it there so it takes up all the screen. You can see I'm over here in camera 1. Sam's over there in camera 2. And here's the interface in cam. And apparently you can have, it looks like 4, but I thought they said 6 cameras. But maybe it's maybe you can have 6 instances of cam control. Anyway, you can have a bunch of instances of cam control. So if you've got more than 4 cameras, you can do the controlling on this camera. And what you've got here, in addition to tracking, which we'll get to in just a second, you've got camera controls. So I've got the PTZ controls here. I can set up some presets here in cam control, as opposed to presets that you might set up on the BirdDog PTZ keyboard or in vMix. I mean, each one of those can have different presets set. I've got exposure control. I've got white balance control. I've got picture control. Lots of different things. And this goes into the camera to change what's going on in the camera. I've got color matrix, so I can tweak a particular color if I want to. And I've got the advanced tab, which allows me to do some fine tuning. But let's go to the tracking tab, and we're going to turn tracking on. When I turn it on, it starts this menu. And you also notice there is a red box around me, which is like, okay, we are seeing that there's some movement coming here. I have not changed anything. This is the default setting from the factory. Just turned it on, and it's already following me around. And I wonder just how much it's going to follow me. Yeah, it's going to follow me at least to the end of my extension cord here for my earbuds. And we can see it's going to do pan and tilt. And is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. But, in fact, I'm going to try to get out of it here in just a second. But what we find out is that it may not be perfect, but I've got all these settings down here that I can make changes on. Now we're going to turn Sam on. Sam, you're on now.
And stroll around.
Sure, get up and stroll around. Sam is not mic'd.
One of those instructors that he was talking about, moving around just a little bit.
Yep.
As I move over, and you can see it's delayed just a little bit.
It's delayed a little bit, and it doesn't. Yeah.
Didn't follow me.
There it's good. There now it's got your head.
Yeah. Come over here. Follows me there. So if I just casually wandered the stage, then it's a good deal. Follow me.
Well, Sam, how about more rapidly than casually?
Catches up pretty good.
Catches up pretty good. Let's see.
In fact, I think I stay in the picture, maybe not in the center.
Right.
As I walk around like this.
Now, I bet in a church application, you've got some preachers that don't move at all. And then you've got some preachers that they're all over the place.
Church application, too, the camera's much further away, so it's probably going to look far more natural as the preacher moves left to right.
Okay, let me go into the controls on this camera. We're going to leave the tracking on. And if I can take the zoom and zoom out. Can we get a wider shot here? I guess we're as wide as we can. Oh, that must be zoom speed. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So that's the wide shot on Sam. There we go.
Is that wider than what we had to start with?
I think it's a little bit wider. Yeah. And I'm gonna put Sam on full screen here for just a second, and you lose the red box.
Yeah.
But you see, you've got one of the nice things about this camera that I can tell, and this is the P100, is that the movement on it seems to have 4 or 5 different speeds. Kind of a low speed as it starts up, and then it kind of goes into full speed as it catches up to where he's going, and then it slows down at the end. It doesn't just start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right. All right, Sam, you're off the hook.
I can sit down.
You can sit down, take the rest of the day off. That's that's right. That's right. Okay, let's see if we go back to the main shot here. And can we get back to that shot? Yeah, there we go. There we go. So the software is free. Obviously, if you don't have the camera, it doesn't matter. While I'm operating, and let's talk about operations. Let's talk about how is it going to affect your PC. I've got a Intel i7 8700, which I think is an 8-core CPU. I'm running vMix. I'm running 3 windows of Google Chrome. I'm running what is this other one called right here? vMix Social. Yeah, duh. And I'm running cam control. I'm streaming to YouTube and Facebook, and I'm recording just one destination, recording one file. My total CPU is bumping between 60 and 75%. GPU memory is set at 50%. I'm running a NVIDIA RTX 2080 Ti as the graphics card. My desktop here is 1080p 60. So I'm doing 60 frames a second, not 30. So I'm actually asking the PC to do twice as much work. But I think so far it looks pretty good. I think this is doable right here. Now, I don't know that I would want to go too much further. Oh, and I've got two full NDI cameras coming in. Excuse me. Yeah, I've got two full NDI cameras and then one NDI HX and then a webcam. If I got the webcam, that would probably save me about 10%. And I've got a USB, SDI to USB cam. So I've got 5 cams connected, and they're actually all turned on. I probably don't need them. So we've got 5 cameras, plus the cam control, plus vMix Social, plus Google, and all for the bargain price of 70% of your CPU. Yeah. All right, let's see. Kevin says, wait, the studio with all the monitors is fake? No, Kevin, it's not fake. It's an alternate reality. It's an alternate reality. That's right. Jan says it's just alternate real. Right, there you go. All right, OG says he took his green screen down last week going for a different look. And there's Ken Richard. You know, Ken Richard works for the Spangler Candy Company. You know what the Spangler Candy Company makes? That's right, Dum-Dums. You know how many Dum-Dums I have on hand? About 20. I used to have 21, but I ate one this morning. Hint, hint, Ken Ricker. Let's see. So OG Gamer says, so does the tracking box disappear in the final program? Yes. Yes, it does. And the P100 is probably out of focus because even though, Sam, I'm going to go back to you for just a second. Even though Sam looks good right there, he's actually in the dark. He is, how dark would you say how much dark would you say you're in right now?
What? Half dark.
Half dark, half dark or more.
Dark, yeah.
It's just that the iris has opened up on that camera. Let's see if we can go into cam control, and we'll bring up the cam control for just a second and see if the focus is on autofocus. And let's see if we can do, let's go to manual focus. Let's see if we do a little manual focus. Now he's definitely blurry.
Yeah. That's clear.
And now he's blurry on the other side. So it's going to be about right there. Now, no offense to Sam, but Sam is bald, so that may be affecting some of the focus.
A
little bit of glare. That's right. Oh boy, I had somebody that I was working with on a video, and Sam and they had lost their hair in the front, and I said, you know, there's no kind way to say it. You can't just. I said, we got to put some makeup on your head. We got to cut the glare and change the lighting. And that's all right. So now we've got Sam in as much focus as we can get. If you look at the wrinkles on his shirt, I think you're going to see.
Everything stretches out right here.
Yeah, that's right. You can see it's clear. Now, if we go back to autofocus, it's the shirt is clear. I think it's just the camera's having some trouble with skin tones in the dark, as it were. Okay. We'll go back to this shot, And the red tracking zones, again, should have played a little bit more with the software. The red tracking zones can be expanded, and you can also kind of mark out areas where you don't want the camera to pay any attention to, kind of dead zones. So if you've got, if you've got somebody that's speaking and a bunch of little children running around at their feet, you can call that whole bottom child zone a dead zone, and it won't pay any attention to that. Let's see. You can set error values. You can set a zoom value. The software is free. If you go to the BirdDog website, you can get it there. If you've got a BirdDog camera, you can do the firmware update today. You can download the software today. It will take you longer to do the firmware update than it will be to figure out how to operate this auto tracking. I'll make you a bet on that. Let's see. Jan says better tracking with the wider shot. Yep, I would agree with that too. OG Gamer says, my only complaint is the P100's autofocus doesn't appear to be up to snuff in this demo. I tell you what, when we get into the post show, we'll turn all the lights on in the studio, get Sam out of the dark, and see how it does, and then we'll switch it around. Apparently Tom's Facebook is not muted. Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, is that that was Jan sending me a note on Facebook. KMR says, how does the tracking do with a shot more like yours, Tom? A tighter shot. All right, let's pull social back up. Let's make it live here. Tracking is on. You can see tracking is on. So for some reason, it wants me kind of in the left portion. So as I stand up kind of in what I would call straight, I can't get into the middle of the into the middle of the frame. Let's see if we've got an X coordinate we can track a little bit. So I'm going to change the X coordinate. You can see that's right here, the X coordinate. X is going to be horizontal. Y is going to be vertical. Remember that from your geometry classes. And the target X coordinate is 320. So let's drag that to 200 and see what happens when we do that. Does that affect this at all? No, really doesn't affect it at all. So let's drag it back to 360, I think is what it was. That's close enough. Tracker type. Let's go with face. See if that changes anything. I don't know if we need to turn it off and turn it back on for that to take effect. No. What if we move the box to the right a little bit? What happens when we do that? Does that move the box? No. Why am I off center? You say, Tom, do you lean to the right? Yeah, but that doesn't have anything to do with this. Vertical track on, track auto zoom on, trigger reset off, param payload, not sure what that is, so we're not going to mess with that. All right, well, let's put the X coordinate back in the center again. Let's say horizontal minimum error. Let's take that up to about half and see what do we get when we do that. Still not getting me in the center of the frame. We'll put the horizontal minimum error. Tracker gamma. Let's increase that to 100%. See what that does. Doesn't appear to do anything. So we'll send it back to the middle. And I don't see where you can mark your zones that you want it to ignore. I'll have to watch a Facebook video on that one and see how we do that. If I go to body, does that make any difference? Probably should have had Sam set on body instead of fallback. Let's set him on body right now for later. Zoom value. That would be the speed of the zoom. I didn't notice that it was doing any zooming at all. Okay. Well, let's go back here for a sec and see what you guys have to say. Jan says, how does the tracking handle it if you turn sideways and then back? Ken asked, what camera are you using? For myself, I'm using the BirdDog P200. And he just answered his own question. Okay. Can you do anything to quiet the noise, the video noise on these cameras, such as noise on a solid color graininess? Some of the noise that you see is my green screen just acting up. Let me give you the shot of me without the green screen. So let's just turn that off for just a second. Okay. And I'm going to just maximize my own image here. I see a little noise, but that may be lighting, because I'm not particularly well lit right now. And I've turned a little green. I mean a little pink. So let's see. Can I take some of that pink out? Oops. That's a little better. And we can go into the cam control and see if we can tweak. Now I want to see if I can tweak the noise reduction. Yeah, here it is. Noise reduction right there. Well, let me show you what I'm doing. Sorry about that. Okay, so I've opened the picture tab right here, and I can send the noise reduction up to 5, and then we'll go back to the screenshot of me. And I think this area up here is where I noticed a little bit of noise just a minute ago. I don't see it now, but let me put myself on a bigger picture here. Yeah, I might see a little bit of noise. It's hard to say. It's hard to say, Ken. It's, it's the kind of thing that you need to get one of these in front of you and look at. So we've got noise all the way up. While we're doing that, let's see what the white balance is set for. Auto 1, I think auto 1. What if we do one push? Is that better? No, I don't think that's any more realistic, although I've got the color tweaked a little bit in vMix. Let's make all our settings back the same. We'll reset everything in vMix. There we go. So that's a natural set in vMix with no color correction in vMix, and then one push white balance. And then that's indoor, which is a little washed out. Outdoor, of course, is no good. So we'll go back to one push. Or we can go back to auto 1. Auto 1's a little red. So we'll go back to one push. We'll leave it there for now. I am not an expert in this kind of stuff. As you might have noticed. Okay. Let's go back and see what we're getting in chat. Ben says you have to hit update. Ah, Ben. Very good. Ben, you are the man. So let's go back down here to everything that we're doing in the tracking. And we'll hit update here. And that that's got me on body. So let's go back to face and we'll do update. There we go. Now let's make our target X coordinate a little bit more to the right, maybe. And that's not what we wanted. So let's move it back there and update. Yeah, I think we've lost that camera. Come back. Come back, camera. I think we can get it back here in vMix. How about that one right there? We're just hitting a vMix preset that we put previously. All right, turning sideways. With my back. Turning around quickly. Ta-da! Is it going to zoom at all? Do we have a zoom control on? Let's see. Let's close the white balance. The picture controls, the white balance controls. We'll open the tracking controls back up against. Vertical track, track auto zoom, trigger reset. So we're going to say vertical track is on. Let's turn that off and see what difference that makes. Turn it back on. Doesn't appear to be as smooth. So let's turn. Oh, I thought we turned vertical track on. Oh, it turned itself off. Huh. Okay. Track auto zoom. Let's try that on for a second. Does it zoom in or zoom out? Doesn't appear to make a difference, but I might need to be further away for that.
BirdDog zone.
Tracker, gamma tracker type. Let's see. Then says hit update by param payload to update your XY settings. Thank you. Yep. So let's go back to, we'll go back to this screen. No, yeah, we'll go back to that screen. And then we'll try, can we try a little bit of X? Update. That get me back to the middle of the screen almost. Pretty close. Pretty close. Yeah, that's what we needed. And if I wanted to do a little more Y, and we'll update that, that's going to be a little too high. So let's bring that back down for my desired shot. Yep. Just a tad more. Not that I would use tracking on a tight shot like this anyway. There we go. But I wouldn't. I wouldn't. All right, let's go back to, I feel naked without my green screen. So let's go back and turn that back on. There we go. And we'll go back to the main shot. So there we go. All right, so let's see what you guys are saying about this. And we've got BirdDog. Good day from Melbourne. Well, good day, BirdDog. Let's see if we can get a support person on. Yeah, that would be good. Jan says, BirdDog, you plan on sending a gift box of products to Linus Tech Tips or Gamus Nexus. Be fun to see them tinker with it. There you go. KMR says one thing that's pretty cool is if you lock if you look left, it gives you some nose room to the left, it seems. It does. How about that? Kevin says that's why you're not centered, because you're looking to the side. Ah, very good. Very good. So I'm looking a little bit this way. Hey, it's BirdDog John. Welcome, sir. Sorry we missed earlier. BirdDog John is actually with BirdDog, and he's part of their tech support team that's actually here in the United States. So he keeps what we would call typical hours. Yeah. So there we go. All right. And it's BirdDog Jake. So they've got all sorts of tech support guys here. Welcome, Jake. All right, so let's flip over to the post show. We'll turn some studio lights on, or we'll turn the rest of the lights on here in the studio and see if we can't get something else going. Sure, that'd be great. Yeah, and we'll be right back. Just to the right of the door, Sam. All right. All right. We are back. So let's go to a post-show graphic. Do we have a post-show graphic? Yeah, there's a post-show graphic. And you guys are pretty sharp. That's what I would say. For some reason, we're not getting all the comments on here. Let's try this. Let's go here. Let's try that one. So Bill has nailed it. We got a bunch of bird dogs here, and they're tracking me down. We've got Jake. And we've got John, and Kevin says, "Yeah, they are all here." This is really great comment, Kevin. I really appreciate that. And Kevin noticed that when I turn my head to look at my side screen, that it's going to turn in order to allow some room for that. But when I look back dead set at the camera, then I'm back in the center again. So there we go. Very good. Yeah, here is that comment. Very good. And then Jan had that comment, which is spot on. And let's see. And then Benjamin, thank you. All right. So, Sam?
Yes.
Do you mind? We're going to bring Sam back in.
Model again.
And we're gonna ask Sam to be our model. So we're going to bring him into the picture. Yeah. And I'm going to bring up central control for Sam. And we've got tracking turned on, and we've got the tracker set as a body type. And the vertical track is on. We're just going to update all of that and see if it makes any difference. So as Sam walks around, you can see a little bit more light on him brings him into a little bit more focus, although we've got
this glow on top of it.
He's got that angel glow going.
Yeah.
And let's see if the guys in chat have got... All right, True North Colorado says, can the speed of the tracking motion be controlled or adjusted? We do have, let's bring it back up again. Here we go. We do have the, let's try again. There we go. we've got the tracking control software here. And it looks like we've got a target X coordinate, a target Y coordinate, a tracker type, which was fallback, face, body, tracker gamma, and the minimum vertical and horizontal error, tracker zoom value, vertical track auto zoom, param update. And what was the question again? Sorry about that. The question was, can the speed of the tracking motion be controlled, adjusted? I think the tracking motion, and again, this is from just somebody who's only played with it briefly. Number one, I don't know the answer to that question, so I'll make up one, which is if you move quickly, it's going to move quickly. If you move slowly, it's going to move slowly. But can you adjust that? Don't know. I do know they're continuing to tweak this a little bit, and that there may be some things now that they're kind of getting it out in the real world and letting a lot of folks play with it. Tommy, I'm going to get to your question in just a sec. But let's see, where is that question? Yeah, there it is right there. Thank you, Colorado, True North. We'll see, and if maybe one of the BirdDog folks can speak to that, they can tell you specifically, because I just know, I mean, literally, I've read no documentation. I don't have any interest in reading any documentation. I want to play with it as if I were just falling off a truck, falling off the back of a turnip truck, and this software just jumped into my hands. That's what I want to see. Is it that stupid easy to operate? Tommy says, what are some of the real world applications? Well, Tommy Willis is just right up the road on the other side of Montgomery from us, between Montgomery and Auburn. And Tommy, you know, number one, your church and my church, I don't know if your preacher moves around, but mine does enough. And whenever there's a guest preacher, you know, who knows, it's a real crapshoot there. Certainly in a learning environment where you've got a teacher that may have, you know, part of her class is present physically, the other part is remotely learning. I know a lot of colleges are live streaming their lectures. Even when they were in full attendance, they would still live stream the lectures. And so these types of cameras would be very helpful there. We've talked a little bit in the pre-show about trying this out with some sports. And I'm really interested in trying this out with some basketball and seeing if it will follow, you know, the big flow of movement. I know we've got adjustments for fallback, face, and body, but what happens when we set a wide zoom and we see if it's going to follow, you know, we put a camera right on mid-court, is it going to follow the action up and down the court? We'll see. You know, it's obviously it's trying to follow my action right here. I probably should turn it off for me. But I think it's going to be a breakthrough. And the other breakthrough part about it is that, you know, it's less than $4,000. You know, if you want the 30x zoom, it's less than $3,000. If you want the 10x zoom, it's less than $2,000. It is affordable. It is the price of the camera. And they've just enabled these new features. And this is one of the things that I dearly love about BirdDog. And it cuts, you know, it's a knife. It cuts both ways. It cuts against them and it cuts with them. Cutting with them, they continue to add new features. They increase the value of the product that's already in your hand by these firmware updates that allow it to do things that, you know, it didn't necessarily say it could do. You know, a year ago or whenever it was they released the P200, they didn't say it was going to be able to do auto tracking. At least they didn't tell me. And you'd think if they told anybody, they'd tell me, right? No. The other hand is, you know, sometimes they're trying things and they don't always work. So it's that balance between, you know, the living on the cutting edge. The cutting edge works both ways. It gives you the best of the best and the worst of the worst. I was going to say best of the worst, but I don't think that would have worked. So, yeah. All right, so BirdDog John says, tracking gamma is tracking speed, technically. Oh, Sam, can we play with that?
Sure.
All right, so let's get, we're gonna get Sam back up, and we're gonna have to get his camera turned around. Where is Sam's shot? Hang on, Sam. Let me get you up here. And we're going to get you turned around. All right, there we go. What I did is I just hit the home, and we're going to turn my tracking off for just a second, now that I'm in the center. All right, so we're going to take the track gamma, and we're going to increase it all the way. And we're going to update it. All right, Sam. So if you move quickly,
it went down.
It's lost you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go back to face.
It's looking.
Let's go back to face. I think face is going to give you a better look, and we'll let vMix help out a little bit and just set your camera back to home position. Now it's going to grab your face, and let's see how we do. If you move to your right. Notice the tracking speed is much faster. And I noticed too, if Sam moves to his right or to his left and then kind of adjusts himself back in the center again, the camera seems to want, the camera seems to want to catch both movements. So I've probably got a little bit too much camera speed there. Let's cut that down to 0.8 and see again. Yeah, give that another shot, Sam. Just a little jerk to the right.
The other right.
The other right. That's right. That's right. The other right.
Yeah, it's moving quickly.
It is. So let's slow it all the way down. Let's see what happens when we slow it all the way down. All right. So now, same movement to the right or the left. Pick your shot.
Oh, it's very slow there. So there's your speed control.
There's the speed control. There we go. All right. Very good. Thank you, sir.
Feel like Battle White, just point.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to the, we didn't mean to take that shot. Let's take this shot right here.
Who's controlling the weather while Sam is here?
Yeah.
Somebody through North Carolina or something like that. North Colorado, yeah.
Sam is, Sam controls the weather with his phone.
Wherever I am.
Yeah, he's a man of great technological expertise. Let's see. Josh is here and he's just having a little private conversation with the BirdDog folks. That's okay, Josh. You can use us for that. I'm teasing. And John gave us the tip is to keep changing the tracking gamma and then hit update. Yeah.
Change the track.
Yeah, Tommy, I think that's a good observation, and they're very responsive. They're very responsive. The BirdDog company in Australia just went public, so they had a public offering, and you can buy BirdDog stock. I've already inquired of my broker. I'm going to buy some. I'm going to own the company. All right, let's see. Yeah, that's right. John, BirdDog John, you want to tell us about your Twitch shows? Because he is on Twitch twice a week, taking live callers, live video. Or I guess it's chat. He's taking chatters, but he's answering their questions live. So that's good stuff. Yes, Tommy, you have to wear your Batman mask. Yes, sir. All right, let's see. What else are we doing here? Looking at some of the folks in Facebook. Sorry, I've been ignoring you guys. Addison says there's a whole bunch of dum-dums in this group, so we're calling the streaming idiots for that reason. Kyle says, can you select the focal point if there are multiple people in the shot so it only follows one? I don't know. We'll take a look at that. Lon Sedman says it looks cool. Yeah, Lon, I think so too. If you'd like to sample one, contact me and I'll send you a sample to play with. Ken says, I hear talking in the background. Ken, that may be Sam. Sam is not mic'd, but he's here. Joshua Dollard says, I've been toying with it on this P400s and would say it's a work in progress. Yep, this is the first release of Cam Control. What is it, 2.0? And Eamon from Australia said he just saw this. Well, yeah, I wanted to surprise you. I didn't want you to know everything. Yeah. All right, Ken says, have Sam try the zoom feature. We'll try that. And Irvin says, what camera is that? Sam is on the P100, the BirdDog P100. I'm on the BirdDog P200. If everybody wonders what comments I'm reading from, these are the ones on the Streaming Idiots Facebook group, which unfortunately we can't pull in and do that with. So let's see. Let's go back to Michael Graves is here. Welcome. Glad to have you. And let's go back to Cam Control. So we'll switch back to that. Get on the right tab here. Cam Control. And we're going to try the zoom value. So let's zoom back and see what it does on that one as we update. Sam, you're live.
Okay. What do you need me to do?
I'd like you to move that way and then back. If you can kind of get around the current and see if it's going to zoom at all. No. It's not zooming at all. Let's increase the zoom value the other direction and update that. All right, and then walk towards the camera. Let's see what happens when we do that. I think it's pretty fully zoomed out.
It's zooming in when I walk. Right? Yeah, zooming out now.
Track auto zoom. Let's turn that on. Okay, so step forward to the camera and then back away again. See if that catches it. No. If I click update here, that's going to turn the track auto zoom off. So let's turn it back on. We'll turn vertical track on. Okay, Sam, if you don't mind, one more time. Sam's going to get his steps in today one way or the other. Yeah, I'm not seeing it do any zoom at all. It looks like it's just... let's see if the guys in chat have anything to offer on that. All right, BirdDog John says, after you hit update, turn on vertical track and track auto zoom. I think that is what intuitively we tried to do. Yep, we did. So we'll update, we'll turn on. Okay, let's go back and check chat again. And this is, you know, I like this kind of clarity, transparency rather. This is BirdDog John saying, not sure why it turns off, but he'll ask the engineers. And, you know, my guess is the engineers are going to make a list. And they are going to say, okay, this is the, you know, the 23 comments that we've had so far that were not apparent to us, but now that we're throwing it out in the wild, and Sam Ricard and Tom Sinclair and Tommy Willis and a bunch of other crazy idiots are out there playing with, people that probably shouldn't have access to this kind of technology to begin with. But they're playing with it, and that's going to be a lot of the users. In fact, that's going to be, if this is the BirdDog user base now, and we're going to throw something like Cam Control into it, then the BirdDog user base is going to go like this. But it's also going to include people that buy it for the auto tracking feature, that need the feature, but don't necessarily have the understanding of how all this stuff's work. They just want the feature. Okay, so we've got to be able to dumb down how it works so that, so that my wife can set it up and use it successfully. There's the challenge, BirdDog. Make it idiot proof. And then send it to me and I'll give you the idiot test. Yes. Tommy is a vMix fanboy. There is no question about that. He is not only a vMix fanboy, he's I guess you would call him a Central Alabama vMix fanboy. And there are not too many of those. Okay, let's see. Let's go back over to Facebook and see what we missed. Let's see. I think I'm getting a Facebook message from somebody. Who am I getting a message from? Let's go to a different part of Facebook. Somebody is probably going to try to tell me something off the air because they don't want to embarrass me, which happens all the time.
Usually they don't want to embarrass themselves.
that may be it. Okay. All right, let's see. And there we go. Okay, sorry. Sorry for that little side trip there. I think we're good though. Oh, here's a good question from Michael Graves. How much load does cam control present to the host PC? Michael, a little while ago when we were in the show, which means that we were streaming to Facebook, streaming to YouTube, recording. We were running vMix, we're running cam control, we're running, at that point, we were running 3 tabs of Google Chrome and vMix Social. On my i7 8700K CPU not overclocked and my RTX 2080 Ti graphics card, we were at about 60%. And this was with 2 cameras on cam control, but 5 cameras attached totally. One of them is a Logitech C920, which I just leave on all the time anyway, and I know is just a really, it'll use about 5% of the CPU all by itself. So, and the other thing is that my vMix is operating at 1080p 60. So I think if I were to trim it back to 30, I'd have more overhead. I know if I unplug the Logitech, I'd have more overhead. So the cam control, if I turn it off, we can watch the CPU on that one. Let's find cam control, and we're going to turn it off. And the CPU right now is running 35, 39, 50, 48, 38. We're going to turn off cam control, and let's let it stabilize. 38, 43, 37, 51. So it doesn't look like cam control added a whole lot. Maybe a couple of points. Let's put cam control back on. And we will enable our two cameras. Once it discovers them pretty quickly. There we go. We'll turn tracking on for Sam and leave it off for me. So I would say not much, Michael. Maybe with only 2 cameras, maybe maybe somebody from BirdDog can answer this. Does cam control use more CPU when you add more cameras? I know you can have multiple instances of cam control, so that would probably increase CPU, but Would one camera in cam control use less CPU than 4 cameras in the same one instance of cam control? Not sure. Well, that's okay. You can just bring snacks next time. All right, here we go. I love this comment. This is Josh. He is running an i7 2700, a second generation CPU with 2 cameras tracking and 2 others in cam control at 25 to 30%. I loved that processor. In fact, I still have some systems with it in there. Yeah. So CJ is another BirdDog tech, and he says if anyone has any workflow questions, you can email Jake or CJ at hello@bird-dog.tv. Well, there you go. That's a great question, Jan. I checked the same thing the other day. And here in the U.S., we've got a ton of BirdDog product available. A ton. A ton. Tommy, you got it nailed. Jeep and Dave, that is true. And one of the things that I know for sure is, let's say we were live streaming a basketball game instead of a talking head show. Well, number one, I'd be using a higher bit rate. Regardless of anything else, I'd be using a higher bit rate because it would be more motion. And that motion would be smoother with a higher bit rate than it would be with a lower bit rate, regardless of the resolution. And I don't know how it'd be affected by the frame rate. But John says more cameras equals more CPU. BirdDog says, we're happy to help with questions, but they don't sell direct. They have one BirdDog outlet in the United States, and that's us. Just teasing. You can buy BirdDog lots of places in the United States. But yeah, make your own decision. Do what's best for you. Josh says CPU loading is not as bad as he thought it would be an issue. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. I think I could track all 4 without an issue. With a processor update, Josh, you could definitely do that. Jan is not here in the U.S., shall we say. Not here in the U.S. All right, let's check over in Facebook and see what we're missing there. Not missing anything new there. And yeah, very good. Very good. Well, I think all in all that the BirdDog guys, the engineers, the tech support, and the creators, Dan and Eamon, have got a real solid offering here. I think there's some tweaks once it gets out in the wild, as it is now. There are going to be people like me and Josh and Tommy and Jan and others that are, either already have BirdDog cameras and can update them and can use the cam control and play with them. A good tutorial on how to use it, video tutorial, not a written tutorial, but a good old video tutorial. One that shows how all the sliders work in cam control for the tracking. And then also maybe as an addendum to that tutorial, some different use cases Let's talk about a use case at 20 feet. Let's talk about a use case at 50 feet. Let's talk about a use case with 5 people on stage. Let's talk about a use case with 1 person on stage. Think of some of the common scenarios that people would want to use this camera as a solution to a problem, and say, okay, we've anticipated that, and here are some of those common scenarios, and this is how, this is what the settings look like, this is the kind of camera we use, this is the lighting conditions, all those kinds of things. And I think you'll have a winner there. Yep. And this is Eamon, where it is currently about, I don't know, maybe 6 in the morning, and he needs to jump on another call. And, Lord willing, and the knee holds out, Eamon, I'll see you guys at NAB in April. Happy New Year to you. Guys, we're going to close out this part of the show. That means this is the end. And this is the end in more than one way. We will not be having a Streaming Idiot show for the next 2 weeks for sure, and maybe longer than that. I'm having my knee replaced on Monday. Appreciate your prayers. Prayers are very powerful. My surgeon is a believer, and that's very, very reassuring. He assures me that this surgery will only take about 45 minutes, and that here in the U.S., maybe it is all over the world, I don't know, that this, for a lot of folks, this is outpatient surgery. You have your knee replaced, and then they send you home after you wake up, of course. As a former heart patient, they want to keep an eye on me a little bit longer. I think, don't tell my wife, but I think it's just because the nurses want me to hang around a little bit longer. That happens to me and Sam all the time. So
every day.
Yeah, Sam says it happens to him every day. So I'll be in the hospital for a couple of days. But once I get out, I'll be hitting rehab hard, because I want to see you at NAB in April, and I want to get back on my feet to come sit in this chair. So I will see you guys when I see you. I will be replying to email at tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com. We will be filling any orders that come into the store at easternshorebroadcasting.com. I have made arrangements. Someone that has been under my tutelage for a while on building PCs will be helping me with any PCs that need to be built while I'm not able to do it. So don't let that keep you from asking any questions. I'll be taking tech support calls once I'm clear-headed enough to be able to answer the phone. But don't let that keep you from calling and inquiring. So with that, we will go out to some more fireworks. And my thanks to Sam for visiting today and helping out on some demos. And we'll see you guys real soon.